Hello, and welcome to another episode of Look at Haley with no makeup on, and it's terrifying. I know, I'm aware, trust me. No, I thought I would film a quick get ready with me while I chat with you guys about my game plan for the end of NaNoWriMo, mostly because I don't have much time, and so I thought this would be, you know, a good way to keep going. Plus, who doesn't like get ready with me videos? I'm sure there's lots of people. I'm not one of those people. I really like them. So, as you know, looking at the date of this video, there's 1 day left. Well, I guess 2 if you count today. But basically, 1 day left to go. And yeah, that's pretty fun, huh? It's not. It's not fun. If you're anything like me, you are decades behind. You have no idea how you're gonna catch up. You're gonna try, and you're gonna hate yourself, but you're gonna do it anyway. So, yeah, let's get started. No, thankfully, I mentioned before, I do have Thursday off. So basically, it's gonna turn into an entire day of writing, mixed with laundry, because I'm really behind on laundry. So my game plan is this: work as much as humanly possible without dying. No, as I mentioned before, I'm really rethinking my, not expectations, but what I want out of NaNoWriMo this year. There's 1 day left. But since I am a Nano Rebel and I'm not actually writing a new story this month and just revising my current story, it's a little bit harder to measure winning and success. So my ultimate goal for this month is to just go through the first round of revisions basically, and I have to completely rewrite the first 3 chapters, which I've mentioned a few times, because it was chapter 4 that I switched point of view, and so I obviously have to go through the first 3 and fix that. Otherwise you'll be really confused. And also, as part of the first round of revisions is fixing major plot holes. And another big thing I wanted to do was work on upping my characters. I guess just backstory and making sure that my story isn't being plot driven, which right now, where it stood in the beginning anyway, was heavily plot driven. Like, I mean, I outlined it to a fault, honestly, I think. And so my characters, instead of them being in charge of the story and making decisions that led to the ultimate climax, it was more like they were being pulled on this string, and, you know, they were just sort of reacting to everything instead of being the initial ones to, you know, use their personalities and their own way of thinking to actually influence the story itself. Which is like a huge no-no. And I'm embarrassed that I did that. But I mean, that's what first drafts are for, you know? And then second drafts, you gotta make it pretty, you gotta make it better. And so if you think that your story is like that, I mean, you'll definitely tell during the read through. It's just going to read very like, this happened, okay, next this happened, okay, next this happened, okay, next this happened. And you're just kind of like, the characters are just constantly reacting instead of, you know, being the lead itself. It's hard to explain, and I'm sure there's people out there who are better explaining it than I am. But that's just, you know, my initial thoughts about it. And my initial reaction to my read-through, which I did in the beginning of the month and towards the end of October. The read-through is really valuable to just sit down and do all at once. I mean, not during 1 day, but just to sit down and, like, before you touch anything else, just do it, because that's when you really see these big problems. And so I'm still not 100% sure how I'm going to fix making it more character driven, and that's sort of, I guess, a good thing and sort of the point of it being character driven. I want to just dive into the story and just have them naturally react. So play around with it a little bit. Blech. And I've been really afraid to do that. I think my fear, and a lot of writers' fear, especially first-time writers' fear, is you're so afraid of wasting time. Like, you don't want to spend hours and hours doing something that eventually you're just gonna throw out. But I learned this lesson early on too, and it's something I have to remind myself of. You're not wasting any time, even if you don't end up using it in the final product, because you're just always getting better. And that's a key, huge key part of the writing process, is getting better at writing. You know, you wouldn't take a writing class and count those hours as a waste of time because you're not actively writing something for your story. No, you're getting better as a writer. So you know, even if you don't use it, it's important to remember that. And I'm reminding myself of this too, trust me, I'm not just giving advice. So none of it is wasting time. I think we all have this urge, like once we know what we want to have it as soon as possible, and anything that delays that process keeps getting in the way. Like, I know I want to be an author and I know I want to publish this book, and so like I view these experiments of my characters reacting, or you know, my characters doing things, it's like, oh, but if I spend a whole day playing around with that, then you know, that's a whole day wasted that I'm not going to be querying to publishers or to agents. Girl, no, get over yourself. You're gonna have to get better as a writer first. Those are just some Haley thoughts. Little mark right here kind of looks like Marilyn Monroe mole. It's not. It's a pimple. Sometimes my mom has an oversharing gene, I call it, because she just overshares things, and so does my brother. I think I have inherited a little bit of that. But that's the beauty of being a vlogger, because if I say something and later regret it, I can just take it out. So my mom can't when she announces things to my future in-laws. Can't take it back. So what else did I want to talk about? Oh, so I guess the game plan for tomorrow. I'm just really gonna work all day, plus laundry. But so I still haven't finished rewriting chapter 1. It's taking so long. I haven't been, it kind of just feels like I'm drafting chapter 1 again, since I am starting basically from scratch. I'm kind of rusty with that. I mean, I finished writing the first draft of Guardians of the Skulls in the beginning of October, and now it's the end of November. So there was a little bit of time in there that I kind of forgot what it was like to write a lot every day. That's fine. Just fine. And you know, as I mentioned, I've also been doing character profiles, so I'd love to finish that for tomorrow with all of the characters in my book. That's going to take a lot of time. And then I just want to finish rewriting all the way through chapter 3. And then my last few hours of work, so when I hit, you know, around the 45,000 word mark, those hours are going to be spent going through the rest of my story and just tying up things that contradicted themselves. So those last few chapters are still going to need a lot of heavy work, you know, going in, fluffing it up. That's what I think I'm going to be focusing on in December. But I at least want to make it, you know, I at least want to tie up all the plot holes and to make it consistent, which I think is really the point of draft 2 anyway. I'm excited. You know, once I reach this point of being done with second draft, oh no, then I'm gonna be able to start sharing it with other people, which is equally terrifying. And I'm only gonna share it with a select few just because I still know it needs a lot of work, and I know what work it needs in my opinion. I'm sure after the second draft, or after the third draft, when I go through it myself one more time and get feedback from beta readers, it's gonna need even more work. All in all, I think probably my book will have, let's see, first draft was just writing it, just writing. Second draft is fixing plot holes and rewriting the first things I know that need to be rewritten. Third draft is gonna be me going through it again and fixing character holes, you know, like, you know, using my character profiles to like up that and making it more character driven, less story driven. And then I guess fourth draft, that's when I'm gonna like, so after third draft, that's when I'm gonna start sharing it with beta readers. So you guys who are interested in looking it over. I know I did like initial beta recruitment, so I was so optimistic, like I think I did it in like September, October. And unfortunately that's just not going, it's gonna need to wait till, I need to start being a little bit more realistic with my goals. Honestly, I've been a little bit disappointed with myself with NaNoWriMo this year. I think I could have gone a lot further and done a lot more. If that one is way thinner, okay, that's fine. Not to make an excuse, but I think I'm just still, in the beginning of November, I was still exhausted from just having finished my first draft in October. Because I finished it October 5th or 6th, I think. I'll have to double check. I have a video to that, I'll link it below. And that was hard, you know? For those of you who have written an entire book in November, I'm sure you know it's exhausting and you are not gonna want to look at it for like a whole month. And so that's how I felt. And so NaNoWriMo started, you know, November 1st, and I still was a little bit burned out from having just rushed through, or not rushed, but just like worked, sludged through the first draft. So honestly, the last thing I really wanted to do was dive into revising when I still was recovering from drafting. But I guess that's, you know, this whole thing is a learning process. This is the first time I've ever done anything to this extent. You know, I've been doing little bits of writing here and there my entire life, but this is the first time I've really completed a whole project like this. So it is a learning curve. You know, Stephen King, in his book on writing, which you know I'm a huge fan of, and loads of people are huge fans of, he recommended that you take a good 3 months from when you first finish drafting to when you start revising. And now I see why. And I've mentioned that before too, but I think honestly that that's like should be a requirement. At least for me. Some people aren't like that. Some people just have dived right back into editing. And I can't. I don't know, I get tired. Like, I think you're afraid to lose the momentum, but as I'm sure a lot of you know who are just finishing up NaNoWriMo now, you're tired. You lost the momentum already. It's gone. So now you need a break. Like I said, that really just ties back to the fact that I didn't want to do anything that would take away from me finishing. I didn't want to do anything that I felt was going to get in the way of reaching my dream as fast as possible. And so I thought that taking any time off from writing and from revising was just a waste of time. But it ain't. You know, if anything, I think if you rush the process, you're just taking more time because you're just gonna have to fix those same mistakes again. I mean, I'm not saying anything like super original. You know, this is all thoughts that lots of writers and authors have realized about themselves. But so I guess what I'm really saying, and I'm admitting this now, on day 29, when it's way too late, I wish that I had actually, instead of revising this month, just worked on something new. Like, I wish I had taken Guardians of the Skulls and allowed myself to put it on hold so that I could come back completely refreshed. And it would have been nice, I guess, to work on a new project this month, just for fun. I mean, I've been in Guardians of the Skulls mind for 3 years now. A long time. I mean, in between those 3 years, I was working on stuff, so, okay. So I've been Guardians of the Skulls exclusively mindset since last December when I started outlining it. So that's almost a year. And a year is a long time to be thinking about one thing. I have regrets. Not about my story, just about my choice of what I did this month. And that was something I have not admitted to myself until right now. But yeah. I mean, I guess at the beginning of November, I didn't even have a new story idea. So I'm saying all of this now that I know I do have another story idea that I'm working on. I don't know, lesson learned for next time, like I said. I really want next year to actually do NaNoWriMo proper. I mean, last year I was working on a nonfiction project, which, you know, is fine, but technically is still a NaNoWriMo rebel. And this year, obviously, I was a NaNoWriMo rebel because I was revising / editing. No, I was mostly revising, I wasn't editing. So yeah, next year, I'm saying it here loud and clear, I am doing NaNoWriMo proper. It's gonna be terrifying, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm excited. Can't NaNoWriMo, who knows? That's just, you make up your own stuff anyway. Alright, I'm going to get dressed now, and then I do want to actually do some shout outs / thank yous from other YouTubers that I have been following this month, and they've been giving me shout outs. They're amazing, and so I just want to take the time to thank them as well. So I'm gonna put on clothes. You're welcome. I'm blue, I was gonna put you guys on an actual tripod and do another sit down video, but my tripod is broken, so I need a new one if anyone has a, you know, needs Christmas shopping ideas. But so as I mentioned, I just want to do a huge thank you / shout out to a few people. Well, first of all, I do actually just want to thank everyone. You know, I've got now, I think, 125 subscribers. So I went up 25 subscribers. Thank you so much to everybody who's continued to watch my videos, to all the new people and the old. I really, really appreciate it. You know, I'm doing what I love, making these videos. Even if I had 0 views, I would still be making them. It's something I've always wanted to do, and it's just been really fun to document my life, really. You know, I recently put up the Christmas tree decorating video, and I was able to go back to last year's and sort of do flashbacks to the last year of my life, and just to be able to do that and to look back on that is just really, really cool. So thank you for people who are watching and who comment. All of you, thank you so much. So I don't want you to think that just because I might not mention you by name that I don't appreciate you, because I appreciate you more than you know. I read every single comment I get, I reply back to every single comment I get, and I plan to do that for a long time, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But now moving on to some special shout outs. So first and foremost is, of course, going to be Heidi from Listen I Have an Idea. She is just the best. I'm a writer and I'm speechless. I adore her so much. She has been making videos for a few years now. Her channel, she also does videos with her sister, and they're just so fun. But she also is a heavy NaNoWriMo contributor. She made amazing videos this month, each with a different theme, with great tips, and I'm speechless. She just, oh my god, I just love her. She is easily my favorite person to watch when I need that extra little boost of motivation, because she always just seems to have the perfect thing to say, and she has said it all. And I highly recommend checking out her videos if you know, even with NaNoWriMo being over now, a lot of us still are not going to be done writing. You know, this is our dream. This is what we're working towards. And, you know, she's got video on writer's block. She's got a video on 0 days and being okay with those. She's got videos on, you know, what to do if you lose motivation. She just has everything. And so she's extremely smart. She always has the best tips, and she's also really, really kind and wonderful and great. And her birthday was yesterday, so go wish her happy birthday. And yeah, Heidi's just the best. I don't know what to say. And she made me a bracelet. I love it so much. It says Camp NaNoWriMo. Isn't that cute? I love it. So she's super talented in other ways too. And her room is super coordinated, and she gives great organization tips. So I need to take some notes on that. But next on the list, and these aren't really in order of importance, like I think Heidi, you know, she's up there, but everyone else, you know, just have been people that also I've been heavily relying on this NaNoWriMo, both for their video content and for their kind comments. So next is going to be Rowan from Rowan Tree Editing, and I'm gonna link all these down below so you can check them out too. He's just, oh, he is one of those people that's definitely just way smarter than me. Like the way his comments and his constructive criticism and his feedback is so valuable, and a lot of times I have to look up some of the words he says, and he's got an accent, so he's just smarter. I don't know. Like, I'm so excited to read his future work because I know it's gonna be fabulous. If it's anything like his comments, which I'm sure, you know, it is, I'm very excited to read his work, and he does a really great job about vlogging his journey as well, and talking about his struggles and talking about things he's learned along the way. And he's one of those that finished NaNoWriMo pretty early on in the month, so you know that he's got the momentum and motivation. So he's definitely motivational to watch. Next is going to be Sylvia K, who has put out so many videos. I mean, this girl's crazy. She like has, I guess, 2 different channels, and she puts out, you know, a video every day, and she always leaves the kindest comments, but her videos are so great to watch. She really talks about the things that maybe some other people are afraid to talk about, not just as a writer, but as a YouTuber as well. And I always appreciate videos that are really honest. Like, I don't like watching ones that are always happy or always educational. Like, I like seeing the honest side of writing, because I think, you know, people romanticize the writer life and the author life a lot, and I really like knowing that there's other people struggling like me. But her videos are really, really great. And she, I believe, is international, which just goes to show, like, NaNoWriMo's National Novel Writers Month, but really it should be NaNoWriMo. But international, so like a lot of people outside the country do it too. And Heidi too, obviously, she's from Canada, so change your name, NaNoWriMo. Next, I'm going to mention, and I don't have a list, so these are just people that are on the top of my head, is Kate Kavanaugh. Her videos have been so amazing. I just found her, this NaNoWriMo, and she just has been posting great content every day, once again talking about the struggles, her journey, but also giving great tips. Oh no, my battery's gonna die. I'm gonna start talking faster. And this is totally random, but I absolutely love her setup, like her cute little banner with NaNoWriMo on it. It just makes me so happy. She's got such great spirit, and she's just one of those that are really fun to watch. And last but not least is going to be Heather Hunter, who hasn't been vlogging this NaNoWriMo, but did Camp NaNoWriMos in the past and is active on Facebook. She has a Facebook group. I'm gonna link down below. She's been watching my videos for a while. I love watching her journey. She's one of those super writers who's also a mom. You know, she's got a young one she's watching, and she's pregnant again, congratulations. And so she's one of those super people that's juggling so much yet is still managing to work on her book. So, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up because my battery only lasts like a few seconds when it starts blinking. I love you guys so much. Thank you again, and I will see you tomorrow for the last day. Ah! Bye, guys.